Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Today, Black for round 3. So we had, we talked this morning about the new person, Kylie Rodney. She's been missing for right around 10, 11 days right now. And then we talked about some updates on Dylan Rounds, about, there was some confusion of who and where they were doing their search warrant and whatnot. It was James Brenner's property. It was a burned down trailer, but again, the trailer burned down long before anything happened to Dylan Rounds. Olivia is here at Casa Bullhorn. There she is. She's gonna, I don't know if she's gonna sit. Are you gonna sit in here with me?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
like pop in and out.
She'll pop in and out. So she's here. We're going to be working on some other things. We've got Karribean Kool-Aid in the back. Hello.
Okay.
And Cecilia is running about 15 minutes late. So for all the people that are watching now, we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to kind of bring you guys back to where we began. We actually made several trips out to this area to help search for Paola, and I pulled up some videos. I was just going through some videos and found them. Are you good to sit and watch? Are you there? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I have plenty of time this afternoon, so we're all good.
Okay, well, we're not going to go too much. When Cecilia gets here, we'll just be on for about an hour, maybe less, and just chat about that. So I'm just going to go through here and just tell everybody good morning. I found out something interesting. Like I had all these lives set up, and I had a new member come in, and she ended up hitting all those lives with her new membership. It was kind of weird. It was different. It was neat. Her name's Haley. So I'm going to say thank you again to Haley. She has 3 shout outs today.
That's nice. You stayed busy today. That's good.
I did. And I designed a couple new shirts, some stuff for my merch store. So for those that want to support this channel, go over to my merch store at Teespring and purchase yourself a new thing. And then, of course, Dolly goes live right now, too, because he didn't realize I was live. He didn't check. So we're probably going to have a lot of replays on this video.
That's okay, as long as it gets out there for people to see. That's what matters. Yep.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this on over. Running a bit late. Okay, yeah. Can you let Cecilia know? So I'm just going to go ahead and pull some stuff up. So just to bring people kind of back to where we began. Okay, you gotta play. There we go. Sorry.
Wekiva Springs State Park. We are looking for Paola Miranda, and she went missing here on December 18th. And she was last seen wading and swimming.
And before we get too far into this, I want everybody to notice how clear this water is behind her. Like it is super clear. You can see slap to the bottom of this water.
And shallow.
And it's shallow.
The water, and has not been seen since. So we have been searching for her along the right side of the river, and we're looking primarily for articles of clothing. This area has a lot of alligators. There's signs everywhere. Right when you enter Otter Campground, there's a huge sign, and it just says warning, warning, and there are alligators here. You can't see them right now, but they're here. It's infested. So it is.
So we were told at the beginning of this entire thing that these waters were infested with alligators. That's what we were told. This is literally our first trip out there. And we're kind of surveilling the area. We're getting our stuff. We're seeing these huge gator signs. We're out here. But the problem is that on this trip, we didn't see any alligators. But they're infested.
Right. I didn't see any either the times I've been out there.
We've been out there 3 times, and outside of a kayaker, outside of one kayaker, that was the only person that told us they've seen it. Well, I shouldn't say that. We've heard from other people that they go out there to watch them sunbathe.
But they say they're very docile. We even met some people that literally swam by an alligator and nothing happened. So it's not like there's a history of aggressive alligators here. It's pretty docile.
Right. Let's see if I can get this back.
Possibility that maybe something she met with an alligator. That's a huge possibility. So we're praying that we can find her. Maybe she got lost and traversed off of the trail. We aren't sure if the left side of this river has been searched. This is bordering along the Ocala National Forest, which is a huge, huge area, vast area. So she could have probably gone that way. So we're going to keep looking and pray that we can help her family. They are devastated, and hopefully we can find her or help find any information that can help find Paola.
Thank you. So that was our words, our initial kind of words from Olivia when we first got started. This was actually our first ride to this particular location. And, many of you guys know when we're out in the field, we're constantly strategizing, talking about the cases, talking about what we're wanting to accomplish, looking up information. It's one of the reasons why we always find it beneficial to ride with each other as much as possible, because we do have this ability. Is that rain?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That it does give us the possibility of talking about this. And here's some comments from JLR on our very first time there.
How many alligator attacks are in Florida each year? I heard it's rare. I heard it's rare that alligators attack people.
I think it's rare to the how many people are actually in the state of Florida. I don't think it's rare in certain areas. I mean, we hear gator attacks a lot. That's it, and that's especially important. Many people, they always tell you not to feed the alligators. There's a reason why they tell you not to feed the alligators. They do not want alligators associating food with human beings, because that will be exactly why they attack somebody in the water, is because somebody has fed them in the past and they think humans as a food, and they attack and they will eat. They will eat. Did you find it yet?
So it says from 1999 to 2019, 16 fatal alligator attacks.
In Florida or the United States?
As far as Florida's deaths.
So 16.
And that's between 1999
That's about
and 20-year range to 2000.
So less than one person dies a year in the state of Florida from an alligator.
That is correct.
That's
deaths. I wonder how.
What do you think about that, Karribean Kool-Aid, the statistics on the alligator theory?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I know this year we've had a couple more actually than normal. But those are just, accidental. Well, most of them are accidental, but right. People that have fallen into the areas where there are a lot of gators, we have had locally here. I know of 2 this year, but prior to that, no, I would say about 1 a year or less is pretty accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, there's several. There we could go 3 or 4 years without a death, and then have 3 in 1 year. I mean, it averages out about the same. But in the grand scheme of things, we have I can't remember how many millions of people we have. 21 million or something people in the state of Florida that reside here all the time, if I'm not mistaken. Don't hold me to that. Mm-hmm. But when you only have 1 out of 21 million people, that really is a very low percentage, and I think is what makes it so rare.
Right. I personally have gone out to a lot of different rivers, a lot of different springs, and the Wekiva State Park where she went missing, that's a spring. So it's there are less alligators in those areas than normal lakes in Florida, normal swamps, because the springs, there are a lot of people that go swimming in the springs. Mm-hmm. So gators tend to stay away from people that are out swimming for the most part.
Yeah. And I find that with a lot of wild animals, mm-hmm. A lot of people don't realize they're more scared of us than we are of them, and we're scared of them. So if they smell mm-hmm. us, they go the other way. Olivia, what do you think about, now that, when we first went out there, of course, we were talking about a lot of things. We were kind of looking at this gator attack, and we had a lot of questions related to it. Well, how do you feel about the statistics related to how rare it is to be killed by a gator in the state of Florida?
Well, I think that, again, it's more dangerous driving than, I mean, that's like a weird comparison, but I think that the possibility is pretty low that this is what happened to her. At first, I thought it was a alligator attack, but when you physically go to the location and we went into the water, we were walking in the water, literally swimming, it completely changes your perspective. Completely. And then just seeing how far away the river is from her car, which is about 2 miles, and it's not like there's a lot of roots and trees, and it's not rugged, but it's not, because some people would say, oh, 2 miles is just nothing. Like, I walk that every day. Like, I would leave my phone in my car. I would leave it unlocked. But when you're physically there and you see how it is, the trees, and just like the last time we went there, the trail was very unkept. There were logs in the middle of it we had to climb over. It just looked really...
It was in rough shape.
It was in rough shape. Yeah. So my gut tells me that it was something else happened. It wasn't just a simple attack. There was something more.
Now, what really stands out to me, though, talking about statistics and how many people actually die from a gator attack, I'm not sure the exact percentage, but I know for the most part, every time we hear of a death by gator, there is evidence of this happening. I would say, from what I understand, there's always evidence of this happening.
Well, because they snatch and grab. I mean, that's kind of what gators do. They can't. They're not going to eat a human in one fell swoop. I mean, you know, there's a process that gators go through. They snatch and grab, dunk and twist. I mean, you know, the death roll underwater. You would hear the splashing, especially with that little. You know, I mean, there's water there. I mean, you know, it comes up to our stomach and in some places up to my chest, but for the most part, that's still pretty low levels of water, especially when you're talking about a gator doing a death roll. It seems like you would hear that.
Right. Yeah, definitely. There's always evidence. And so the lack of evidence is really what I believe bothers, us the most. It's just, okay, there could have been a gator attack, but where is the evidence? That's the lack of that. That's what really bothers me the most.
And not only that, but it does appear more probable that she potentially got back to the vehicle.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Everything points to that, in my opinion. Just everything surrounding the whole situation with her leaving everything in her car, the distance being almost 2 miles between the parking lot to where she was swimming, the shoes being in the car. Knowing that you really
evidence of sand on a pair of sandals that was consistent with the sand that's out there.
Her keys being in the car, the phone being in the car. I mean, it all points to her making it back to the car.
And there was DNA testing done for just 1.5 miles of the river. So, and that showed nothing.
Yeah, no hits at all.
No hits at all.
Right. It's a frequent, people go there daily and they kayak and paddleboard down the same area where she was seen in the water. So if something did happen, somebody would have seen something at some point. So no,
we would hope, we're dealing with the whole Kylie Rodney case where she was around a lot of people. And nobody saw her leave. So, there is the possibility people just, are so into what they're doing that they're not paying attention. And
is it that nobody saw her leave, or is it that nobody is saying they saw her leave? That's the difference.
There is that. So I have a funny feeling that, these kids were just way out of control. I think this whole party was completely out of control. But I digress. That's for another topic. But it's just interesting for me because we did go out there. We didn't really see the gators. We never eliminated the possibility because it was still, she had only been missing less than 2 months. We had gone out there. actually, I think it was less than that.
It was less than that, I believe.
Yeah, but and we were out there and we were thinking, maybe she did get disoriented, maybe something happened, maybe she got bit by something, or just something happened where she was disoriented and got lost. So we were out there in that swamp. And the more we went out there, the more we're like, no person, I mean, you don't even have to be a smart person. I just don't foresee somebody, even, somebody that doesn't think as clearly as we do, going and seeing the forest and keep going deeper and deeper into the forest. I mean, I don't see how somebody would think that would be a good idea on a good day.
Well, and I know that when I went out there, the trail was very clear. It was a very clear trail. It was clean. It was easy to follow. You can easily find your way from the parking lot back to where she was. And in my opinion, if she turned around and, made a wrong turn, you can really quickly tell that you made the wrong turn. Yes. Because the swamp area, the brush, just how thick it is in there, it's so hard to even. Hi, Cecilia.
Hi. Okay, I'm glad you guys see me because I'm sorry I'm late.
That's okay. That's okay. I can always. I have the gift of gab. I can always talk. When it comes to true crime and cases, I can always chat up. So let me give a little bit of background for right now. So Paola Miranda, she went missing, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, December 18th. Right. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
So December 18th, she went out to this park. She disappeared. Since then, there's been a lot of searches from your family. And law enforcement did make a large presence out there for about 48 hours. And then after that, they kind of left the family to fend for themselves.
They stopped.
I'm sorry?
They stopped searching and they only did 1.5 miles of the river band.
And that's the same 1.5 mile river band that they did the DNA testing in?
Well, it's really a 9-mile river band. Mm-hmm. And they only searched 1.5. And that's where they did the DNA.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So why don't you, for some of my audience that hasn't been here very much, or some of my audience that isn't familiar about this case, why don't you just explain to them about your experience, what happened, your experience dealing with law enforcement with a missing adult, maybe some better practices for if one of our audience members finds themselves in this predicament. And then lastly, let's talk about what we're doing on August 18th.
Okay, so I just want to say and put out there, I don't wish this on nobody. I don't wish that your family member does go missing, or a friend, or whoever it is that go missing. But if this does happen, I'm telling you from right now, like from the moment that you realize that your family member, your friend, whoever it is missing, start your own investigation. Take a lot of pictures, take videos of everything, take notes of everything. Because what happened is that, like, they did not do anything. They really did not. All they did was they did the DNA testing. They got a 48-hour search. They did that, but they didn't do enough. So her car was unlocked. Her phone was in there. Her wallet was in there. Her keys were in there. There was no DNA being tested on the vehicle. There was no proper investigation of what really happened. You know what I'm saying? So my advice is that if, God forbid, anybody that's watching this has someone missing, or they, discover someone, do your own investigation. Take videos of everything, take pictures of everything, do your own research, because they really don't do anything.
And not only that, but in a situation, because, I had a opportunity to sit down and interview your other cousin, Andrea. And she told me that she really wishes she would have taken pictures of the inside and outside of the car, because she didn't think to do that. And when they called the police actually went in there and pulled stuff out of the car, and she couldn't really remember, what way was this facing, what way was this facing, and things of that nature. Just even that instant, you found the car, take pictures of everything.
Correct. Yeah, they didn't, and there was no surveillance of anything, like for us to even know if she even got there alone.
So for those of you that are not that familiar, haven't been following the case closely, the family members are the ones who actually found Paola's car in the parking lot of Wekiva Springs by doing their own investigation. So the second something like this happens, you really do have to start your own investigation and not rely on anybody else. And I mean, I know police that do their best, but at the end of the day, it's your family member. Nobody's going to look for your family member like you would. Right. So just so that everybody knows, it was the family who found her car in the parking lot based on their own investigation, looking for the e-pass transactions, looking to see where she drove the car. And that's how they were able to find out where she was.
Right. Because you guys told law enforcement, if I remember this correctly, I didn't review the interview. I probably should have, but if I remember this correctly, I believe Andrea said that she told law enforcement that she would most likely be at a park or something outside when you guys first filed the missing person report.
So what they saw was like, this is a 31-year-old woman. She's grown. So it wasn't like an emergency for them. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a child. And there was, like they said, it's not a criminal case. There's nothing saying that it was criminal. It's just kind of unknown. But I feel like after months, like, no one has seen of her. Wouldn't it turn into criminal? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they really did not, to be honest, they didn't care. Yeah. Let's be real. They really didn't.
And you feel like they failed Paola in a sense.
Definitely. And they're failing the community if you think about it. Like, it's not the only woman that has gone missing in Florida in kind of the similar manner. I mean, vehicle open, car's keys in the car. We know now, like, a couple of girls that have gone missing in the same way, and they're failing us as a community. You know what I'm saying? Because this could be someone else, like, next. We don't really know who took her. We don't know what happened.
Right. And there is that possibility of foul play, because this is the issue I think your family is running into. Law, and at least from my point of view, in my opinion, it seems like law enforcement has basically just deemed this case that she was attacked by an alligator. They have no evidence of that outside of just her being at that particular location. They deemed it that it was an alligator attack, and it's like, okay, case closed, but the case is not closed because they don't have evidence of an alligator attack. They don't have evidence of anything at this point.
No, and alligators do not eat human bodies like that. They don't. I mean, okay, for example, the cops got there in 4 days. I mean, an alligator is not going to consume completely a person in 4 days.
No, I think they said a deer would last them, just for perspective, if I'm not mistaken, a deer would last them, several months, like 4 months.
Right. And they also explained to us that alligators, when they collect prey, when they grab someone, they usually pull them down, put them in like a hole, and they first let their skin rot. And then they start eating the person. So if she really was in that water, if the DNA was really if that was an actual thing and that really worked, then there is no proof of her being in the water at all.
Right.
So I feel like at that point, when you see a girl that was in in the water like that, and there's no proof that she's in there, there's no DNA at all.
Right.
Why isn't it criminal? It should be criminal at that point.
Right. I'm unsure.
And I don't understand, if you're missing, let's say if she really wanted to get away or whatever, then they shouldn't stop until that person is found and said, hey, I'm okay, I just don't want anything to do with my family or my friends or anybody. You know what I'm saying? How do you just dismiss that like it's
But
nothing?
that's clearly not the case.
No,
Otherwise, she would
it's
have
not the
taken.
case. But I'm saying if it were
Yeah.
the case, like they're explaining
Yeah.
to us,
Mm-hmm.
then why aren't you trying to find her so she can at least state that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That she's safe, she's okay. She just doesn't want to be around anybody or something. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I completely understand.
Let me just-
So many things that could have there, you know, obviously this is not something that's going to help now. But
Mhm.
for example, a camera at the front, you know, when you first go into the gate, that would have helped so much if their camera would have been working.
Mhm.
Well, that
Because
I don't understand either. How do you say you have surveillance? Like I feel like that should be illegal. Like you cannot put out in the public that you're videotaping someone and then you're really not.
Right. It's a false sense
That's
of security for the
Yes.
people that are going out there that think that they're safe and being recorded and that people are being documented coming in that gate. It's a false sense of security because they have no video. And in the last, we were just there the day that we met you guys all out there, just a couple weeks ago. We went to the park and we were able to get in, you know, to do our search and to post some flyers and things like that. And I asked them about the camera and they basically told me, you know, basically it's a prop, you know, it's a prop. It's not even on. They still, even after this situation, still have not hooked that camera up.
I don't understand like that. I feel like that's something that we definitely want to look into, like when Paola does come up, whatever, you know, really happened to her, because that's something that we need to really like. Every state park should have any type of, okay, so fine, you knew the camera wasn't working. So how are you keeping track of your guests?
right. Well, and that's the thing. There's no possible way unless they're just going by the rangers, you know, doing their rounds on their what
Which
are
they don't even do
golf
correctly.
carts or yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Which they don't even do correctly.
Right.
And they, you know, they're that, I was thinking about it. That part of the park is the furthest tip of the park.
It is.
You know, when we go out there, there's hardly any rangers out there. We saw the rangers because when we first got there, this is the first time we really had any kind of encounter with rangers. But when we got there that day, we came late in the day and apparently they have a pool there. And so there's a lot of people that are trying to get in the park to play in that pool, which is up kind of closer to the front of the park. And we were all the way in the back. So we had to wait in line to get into the park. And so they had, you know, you had to wait for people to come out in order to go in, but they were all in the front of the park. The further you got back there, like we were sitting there, you know, in this line, we're thinking this whole entire park's full. And we get all the way back to the sand lot and we're like, where in the world is everybody?
Her car sat in that parking lot for a couple of days before it was found.
Yeah.
I feel that if they, you know, had some kind of procedure where they actually did make their rounds, checked all parking lots, made sure everybody was out of the park at a certain time, had a working camera, you know, that car would have been found a lot sooner. And who knows what could have been, you know, the outcome. We could have probably had a better outcome.
Yeah. And the day that we were there was a white van that creeped up on us and the back windows were all fogged out and stuff like that. And it was just driving really, really slow. It was creepy, you know,
And Betty, you were not able to see the face of that person driving? Because
No.
I know Olivia
grabbed her camera and started recording, but no, we didn't get the face. We just saw this white van, you know, it almost looked like the free candy kind of van and it kind of spooked us out. We're out there, you know.
A lot of people have brought to my attention multiple times about a white van. I mean, I've gotten anonymous calls about a white van. I've dreamt about a white van. I've had mediums talk about white vans. So what a coincidence that there's this white van following you guys. Like,
it was creeping too. It was slow. Like
and
Olivia
he was staring at us
as he's coming in, but I don't remember his face. We could just see the eyes, you know. It was just, honestly, it was just a creepy van. It was
when Olivia zoomed in, I think on one of her lives, I was able to see it was like a man. It looked like he had a hat on, white hair and glasses with a white beard.
Yeah, if I
from
remember, I
her
was with the
zooming
doctor
in to the
too,
video.
but I can't for the life of me.
I think the creepiest part was the fact that he drove around, parked in the grass, and backed up, staring at us. Like, why?
Yeah, it was just odd. It was
odd.
the creep radar just was glaring. You know, I mean, we felt it. We stopped literally in our tracks.
I felt it through the video. It was that creepy.
But the thing is, like, definitely, I feel like law enforcement has to do something, even like putting cameras up in that park.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the least you can do. I don't even know why that wasn't taken action immediately after.
Yeah, there's a lot of questionable things that I have, you know, especially when we're out there and we can utilize our phone service. Like, why isn't the state putting more cameras and safety features in these reserves? Because, you know, let's face it, there are dangerous animals there. Don't you think that the park or the state of Florida should know who's going into their property and who's coming out of their property for safety purposes?
There should have trail cams too, because there is a campground
going in and only 24 coming out. You're going to want to know what's what.
Yeah, and that park is booked. I mean, I tried to go one early morning to go back to the trail with my family, and like we couldn't get in the morning. It was so booked. Like, it was like a 3-mile line to get in the park.
Yeah, it was a long line for us. I mean, I was ready to say, you know, that we're not getting in today. And, you know, it was Jonathan that actually said, well, let's just park, you know, let's give it 20 minutes. And sure enough, you know, we were in line for 5, maybe.
Yeah, 5, 4.
And we were getting into the park, but we were going straight all the way back and nobody was back there. Nobody. I mean, there was one car parked in one of the parking spots. We were the only other car. And then, of course, we had the creeping van.
So are we all in agreement that something happened to her in that parking lot?
No,
it does.
1,000%. There's nothing else that I don't care what nobody says.
Because, I mean, think about it. If we were to consider, let's just process this. If we were to consider that it was a gator, at this point in time, we should have a shoe. We should have an earring. We should have some hair. We should have, you know, torn clothing. You know, even if all this stuff was intact when she went down, over time, her, you know, I mean, I hate to be graphic, especially with a family member, but over time, the body's going to shrink underwater and things are going to come off that were form-fitting at the time. So where is that stuff?
So I think we all can pretty much agree that the gator thing just didn't happen. In my opinion, it just did not happen. Not with having all of her belongings in the car.
No,
so
it didn't.
The other possibilities are what? Kidnapping.
Well, let's talk. You know, some of the things that we went over when we were out there was, you know, the potential of a snake bite, potential of other animals. The foul play scenario.
I don't believe any animal had nothing to do with it.
No. We determined that she didn't get delusional and walk out into the forest. We determined that it most likely wasn't an other animal or, you know, a snake bite or anything like that. You know, it can't be like a bear or a cougar or anything because it would have been noticeable. You would have had a violent struggle just like with a gator. I mean, all these things were really, you know, they were pretty much eliminated. There was, you know, we at the time when we first went out there, the possibility of the gator attack was still front and center because it had been too soon after the supposed attack for us to really see. I mean, we should have seen something at the very beginning, but just for giving that option the benefit of the doubt that it could have happened at this point, I think we feel that we should see something, and still nothing. It's kind of putting an elimination on there, and then when we go back after speaking to the family and find out that she doesn't normally leave her cell phone or keys and her wallet in an unlocked car in a public park. You know, then you start realizing there was a towel in the back seat. Then you start realizing there were sandals that had sand consistent with the sand out there in that area. And then you start putting all these things together and you're like, you know, you're getting further and further away from that gator attack and more in line that there may have been foul play. And then, was it somebody that she knows? Because we know statistically it would be somebody that she knows. However, she's not really dating anybody. She doesn't really have any enemies or, people that would dislike her so much so that they would want to abduct her. So it kind of almost eliminates the idea that it could potentially be somebody she knew. And then it goes directly to the stranger danger type of abduction, out there in the parking lot. Why was her car unlocked? Why were all these items inside her car? She left her animals at home. She was planning on going to her sister's to drop the vacuum off. All these things just don't make sense.
Plus, we also had like someone, a witness, say that they had seen a guy, and they kept calling him a rainbow guy. I'm pretty sure it was because he had a tie-dye shirt on that was pacing back and forth next to Paola's car.
Whoa!
Like, that's interesting. So why wouldn't the cops be like, hey, wait a minute. Like, okay, we searched the car. We searched the park. It's not an animal. But now we're getting a witness saying he saw a man pacing back and forth her.
You're breaking up.
So what does that mean?
Yeah.
Do you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
You guys hear me now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Why wouldn't it be criminal?
So the person that said that they saw someone that they called a rainbow guy walking around the car, was that person, do you know if that person was ever interviewed by the police?
The person that was pacing?
No, the person that saw them.
Yeah, the person that saw
Yes.
them. Were they interviewed? Okay.
Yes.
But the police does not know who this rainbow person is or was. They never came to a conclusion on that.
No.
So is this classified? Now, I know that you're having a hard time speaking with law enforcement and they're not really giving you a whole lot of information, leaving the whole family, kind of dealing with all this themselves. But did they give you an idea? Is this still classified as a missing person? Has it moved to a criminal investigation? Do you know one way or the other?
Cecilia, did you hear her?
Oh, I'm sorry. It kind of broke up a little.
Okay. So my question was, I know law enforcement's hasn't really been communicating with the family very well. But do we know if this is just still classified as a missing person case, or has it been moved to a criminal investigation?
I've done my own little investigations here and there. I know you guys know. I'm like,
right. No, but what I'm trying to find the classification with law enforcement.
I contacted a friend that kind of went into her case a little, and he told me that it's not a cold case yet, but that it's very weird. Like, there's nothing. Remember, there's also 2 counties playing ping pong.
Right. Orange County and Osceola.
Right. They're playing ping pong. So there's really like nothing. He just told me, he obviously couldn't give me too many details. It's his job. But he told me that things looked weird, but that it wasn't cold yet. But it's not hot either. You know what I'm saying? And so, like,
but is it still,
when the family was telling the detectives and the cops, like, hey, like trying to like create urgency to the case, they're just like, she's not the only missing person.
So currently with law enforcement, it is still open and it is still being investigated as a missing person case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So it hasn't moved to the next phase of criminal investigation or anything.
No.
We've tried to push it, but as of right now, no one has reached out to us to say it's official.
Cecilia, maybe
for evidence, if it does move over to a criminal investigation, they botched the only scene that they had, which was the car.
Mm-hmm. And speak about the phone and the situation with the cell phone. I mean, how frustrating is that?
Yeah, my aunt had turned in the phone, and then the cop said, oh, we opened it. We finally opened it. Come pick it up. And she went and they said, here you go. And she's like, but it's still disabled. How'd you guys get into it? And they're like, oh, we used some type of software. We only were able to get into some stuff. And she's like, okay, can I have record of that? Like, can I have documentation? Oh, there was supposedly no documentation of them opening the phone. Why are you telling me that you opened a phone and there's absolutely no documentation? So there's a lack of like even professionalism at this point. Like, you should document everything.
Yeah.
It took 7 months for them to get into that phone.
And they didn't even get into it, to be honest.
Right.
Because in my opinion, if there is no paper trail saying like, this is what you went through this message, her last message was at this time, this was her last text, this was the last photo she sent. Like, if I don't have any type of documentation, you didn't go through the phone, in my opinion.
Right.
Because what does that do for me?
And they locked you guys out of being able to ever get into
the phone. It's disabled. Mm-hmm. And Apple can't help either. They say that if they unlock the phone, they erase everything.
Wow. So I'm going to play just a little clip here of you the day that we interviewed you. So just bear with me, and then we're going to get some comments on it.
Okay.
One of the family members had kind of told the ranger, hey, I'm looking for...
It's going to give it a little second. It's running off my... give it just a second. It'll pick back up. Maybe it won't. What is going on with it?
Maybe I have to play it a few seconds.
Yeah. Well, it's not even running. I don't know if my... Yeah, it's running now. Give it just a second.
So what you're going to play is a couple weeks ago, we all came together at a park. Cecilia has been putting together these events where everybody comes together, and then we split up and hand out flyers and just try to spread the word. So that's when this interview was done. So
do you guys know who Guidance on Life with TLC is?
Yes, she's a friend of mine.
Okay. I just want to let her know she can message me.
And how would she go about well, I'll get with her.
Me on Instagram. Because for TikTok, it's really weird to message people.
Yeah. Let's find where it was.
While you do that, if anybody that's currently watching, because I know some people probably won't stay for the whole thing, but anybody currently watching, we are going to be getting together on Thursday. Thursday at 9:30 in Orlando.
Actually, I've got that pulled up here. Give me just a second. I've got the flyer right here.
Okay, perfect. So if anybody can help out, we need people in their cars.
Yeah.
So come out, join us.
So I'll just read the flyer here, and I can't seem to get that pulled up. It's not working for whatever reason. It says our meeting point will be at the square where the Cilantro, is that the Cilantrillo restaurant?
Cilantrillo restaurant.
Yeah, is at 2500 South Sonoran Boulevard in Orlando, Florida. We're meeting there on Thursday, August 18th. At 9:30 a.m. They're going to start a caravan from that with signs and anything to make noise, megaphones, signs they want with removable paint, like where's Paola, sheriff, we're in different parts, without detectives to do their job, community safety and security are in danger. Today it was Paola, tomorrow it could be your daughter, please help us find her. We're going to this place, the Attorney General's office. If we can enter his office as a group and deliver this formal request for help signed by all of us who are present and deliver it to his secretary or office. So you have, are we going to all three of these places, or we're just going over to the state attorney?
So we have one girl that is organizing the event, caravan. I don't know if I can say who she is because she's kind of like...
Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal.
But anyway, she's like kind of in charge. So she's the one that's with me. She's the one that found out like the meeting spot for all of us, and then she's gonna be guiding us to like where we're gonna go that day on the 18th.
Is there a recording that everybody will be playing, Cecilia? Do you know, like on our speakers, or maybe I should get another bullhorn?
I don't know.
A megaphone
now.
A karaoke machine, something.
I know we have a megaphone too.
Yeah. Gotta make some noise.
Yeah. Right. Okay, I think. Oh yeah, we got some breaking news. Sorry about that. That was another person that I'm working with. Okay. Everybody's calling me all at once. Hold on, I almost got it. Where was it? I know it was like 6 minutes. 6 minutes. I think I got it back up. There was a specific spot that I wanted to. I think it's this one right here. Here it is.
D12EH. I think you're talking about the same Mike that went out for a search for Paola as well. Yeah, he did come search for Paola. He did not find anything.
Gotcha. Here it is.
Like that area. One of the family members had kind of told the ranger, hey, I'm looking for Paola. This is how she looks. And this is her vehicle. Have you seen her? And he was like, no, we haven't seen anyone like that. Okay. She drives around. She goes around the pool side, doesn't see her car. And then when she's going around, the ranger said, hey, there's no cars here. There's no cars here. Basically, you can turn around.
And that was the area that they ended up finding her car.
And the next day, we found her car there.
So, it's just, it's not really, I'm not trying to beat up on law enforcement, but it is showing, even the park rangers, everybody was just, nobody was paying attention. Nobody. No.
Right. Yeah.
None of them were paying attention. Nobody was. And then, I don't understand, why didn't, don't you feel like that ranger that didn't do his round that day should get in trouble? I'm sorry.
Well, we expect them to be, doing their best to keep residents safe, and not just residents, but all the tourists that come to these parks, that come to these state parks, because they're the most beautiful parks in Florida. Really, the springs are the most beautiful water you can find in Florida.
And it's one of the springs too.
Yeah. So you have a lot of tourists, a lot of residents, and I would hope, that they would do their best to try to keep everybody safe. And that's part of their job.
And you guys have been putting signs up in the park as well, and they're taking them down as quickly as you're putting them up as well. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct.
So nobody's really, you guys are trying your best to find Paola. You're running into problems with law enforcement. You're running into problems with the park rangers being cooperative and letting your signs stay up. Where do you go from here?
You really don't know what to do. I mean, I've already kind of done my own little investigation, and Olivia knows for sure, and so does Vanessa. I talk to them mostly, but I have this area that I want to search, but I don't have any tools to do that. And who am I supposed to ask?
Right.
You literally have to buy your own stuff. You literally I was telling Vanessa today, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Go buy a boat and go buy a video camera under the water and go be a scuba diver and go get my scuba diving license? No, seriously, you really just have to go do it by yourself, and then I've reached out to some organizations and some are like, no, this is a bad time to go out and search. Or no, I don't search for missing people. I search for different things. And I'm like, it feels like every door is shut in your face. If you don't get up and and you go in person and literally plead and express yourself the way I express myself on these videos, nothing will get done. Absolutely nothing. And that's insane to me, you know? And it's crazy how I have so many people calling me, oh, we knew Paola, I'm so sorry, I feel so bad. Or, oh, like, no, I don't want your sympathy. I need your help.
Right.
You know? You know someone. That person knows someone. That someone knows someone. That's what I need. I don't
Gotcha.
want your sympathy. I don't want you to say, I'm so sorry for your family. I really want people that are going to come and with a heavy heart and put themselves in my position, put themselves in Yvonne's position, Paola's mom. Put yourself in her dad's position and be like, these are people and they need help. You know?
One way that, I'm sorry, Cecilia, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And like, it's so sad, and I don't want to bash on the church because I've had I have had some support, like my own, going to church and like them praying over my cousin. I appreciate it, but like, what is the point of you going to church and speaking the gospel, but like you cannot go and outreach and like be there for a family that's hurting and being there for other families that are hurting? You know what I'm saying? And it was so crazy because I actually have been going to church recently, and the topic was it was talking about searching for the missing. It was like bizarre because I'm like, dude, this is literally what I'm going through. And the pastor was explaining today of why we allow people to go missing. Crazy. And she was talking about, one, we don't notice. Two, we don't care. We're more occupied about what our problems are than anybody else. And three, we don't really know how to assist. You know, we don't know how to put ourselves in that position. We don't know how to ask people, what do you need from me? I apologize you're going through this hard time. You know, do you need me to go pass out a flyer? Do you need me to go to my Sunday church and talk about your cousin? Well, like, what do you need from me? That's the type of help that I need.
Right.
You know, and I'm not like, I'm so sorry to come out that aggressive, but it's like, I don't want people to call me all day and talk to me for an hour and 2 hours about what they think happened to my cousin. Like, we don't know what happened to her.
Boots on the ground.
Yeah.
So one thing that I just thought about, again, I know I've said this in previous videos, two things actually. One way of helping is not just passing out flyers. That's a great help, obviously, passing out flyers and sharing the flyer on social media. But also, this happened right before Christmas time. And it was a time where a lot of people were on vacation. So if we could get the word out and just get it out as much as possible to not just look in your phone, but if you spread the word to family members and friends and their family members and friends, maybe somebody was there on vacation at that park and took video and has video in their phone or photos in their phone that they didn't even ever go back to look at.
Right.
You never know what you can catch on camera, right? So this goes back to also the people that gave the video, the anonymous video, to the police where, you know, Paola was seen in the water, right? So if those people are watching this, I just want to say, you don't have to, you know, you don't have to release your name or anything like that to the public, but please get in contact with Cecilia because she's got questions. There are questions that Cecilia has for the people that were there and actually saw her. Hi, JLR.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So,
Hi, Cecilia. How are you?
Hi, how are you, Jonathan?
Nice to see you. Hi, Olivia. Hi, Bullhorn. How are you guys? Hi, Vanessa.
Hi. So, Cecilia, if the people that took that video of Paola in the water, if they were watching this, what would you say to them?
What did you see someone with her? Did you hear screams that day? did you see her at all? Like, what did you see? What exactly? Why did you find it so weird to take a video? What was it? I have so many questions, you know?
Right. So it would just be so nice to just put an end to those questions, get answers for those questions, just to know, like, what was she like that day? How was she
And
acting?
honestly, like, the person that you're not going to get in trouble for speaking. Literally, these cops cannot do the bare minimum, honey. Nothing's going to happen to you. Like, the family is not going to attack you. We just want to know, you know, because we're doing our own investigations, and we have so many things that we want to cross off the list, and we can't because you don't come up and you don't say anything. You know, it's really hard. So, who did you see in the park besides Paola? Did you see the rainbow guy? Did you see that guy? Did you see the one that witnessed him? What cars were in the parking lot that day? How many cars were there? I have so many questions. I have 1,000,001 questions.
Right.
You know.
And I just wanted to give Jonathan the floor. He just kind of got here. So did you have any statements, questions, or anything related to this case you wanted to?
Yeah, Cecilia, still praying for you and your family.
Thank you, Jonathan.
You know, you're an advocate trying to find answers. Kudos to you and your family for that. And like I said to you, Cecilia, last time I saw you when we were out handing out flyers, you know, I'm a proponent of the Florida Sunshine Law, you know, open records requests, and hopefully,
we
did.
We requested them.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome. You know, and keep filing and asking for records, because you do have that right. And the police, you know, I believe in open and transparency when it comes to police departments and how they investigate and how they, you know, look into matters. So I think records could be very beneficial to your family in finding out, you know, specifics on where they looked and who they spoke to, and you might uncover some new leads and ideas to possibly help you guys. So I've always utilized that, and it seems like every time I use the Sunshine Law or Freedom of Information Act or public records request, you know, I do get some insight, and it does help.
Yeah. No, for sure. We're still waiting on those records, but we did you know, ask for them after we had that conversation. You know, because I am open to, like, everything, you know. It's just really hard. It's hard when there's a lot of lack of urgency, you know, when everything is at their disposition and they don't want to do nothing about it. Like, that's crazy to me. That blows my mind.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, that's how the police do things nowadays. You know, they're some, you know, it's budgeting, you know, not enough police officers on the force, but that should not, you know, neglect, you know, a family that's missing a loved one. You know, there should be all resources. No resources should be, you know, there should be unlimited resources out there to be able to try to help, you know, and budgeting or lack of, you know, police officers on the force should not be a factor in this. On any missing person, you know. And I've seen the pain in your family's eyes, man, and I'd be doing the same thing you guys are doing, you know, just keep finding answers and doing, you know, utilizing all available resources to try to find out what happened.
Yeah, and
I can't imagine what you guys are going through. I really can't. You know, I just lost a cat last week, a family cat, and I was devastated over a cat. I can't even imagine a loved one, you know, in this type of the unknown. It's just, I mean, that eats at you. I can't imagine. I do pray for you guys.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It is devastating to know that no one really cares, to be honest. Like, to be honest, if it weren't for you 4 individuals, like, I don't really know, like, what we would have done, to be honest, because you guys have been, like, our biggest support in this process that has really stuck by us, like, from the beginning. I know that, like, there was a point where it was kind of, like, cold, and then, you know, But there was a lot of bobbled, like we're like, what do we do? You know, a lot of people were exhausted, the family was getting, you know, tired, and then we just had to pick it up again as a family, and it's really hard. Even getting support from the family sometimes, you know, not that I'm saying the family doesn't care, but you will really a lot of people don't have it in them, you know, they don't have some people are they just think differently, you know, and I think that's also really hard for us, um, because what do you do at that point? You know, you need all the support you can get and all the help you can get, and you know, just assuming is not solving anything, you know, and I'm definitely not going to give up until I find something, you know. We need closure, whatever it is.
Well, I'm going to be out there on Thursday, but don't leave me if we're not there on time. We have 2.5-hour drive, so
Yeah, of course.
I will be there. I plan on leaving this house promptly at 7 a.m. So I am on the way. So if you do not see me there, do not go anywhere.
Yeah, we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to wait. Definitely. Yeah. And if they leave, I'll stay. I'll wait for you guys.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Are you going Caribbean?
Oh, yes, I'm there. Definitely there to show the support. Yeah. And I think, you know, Cecilia, I know it's hard and I know, you know, it feels like people don't care, but honestly, I feel like a lot of people do care. Unfortunately, a lot of people just don't have the means to be able to help. A lot of people don't know how to help, but really just sharing the information, getting her face out there for more and more people to see everywhere. I mean, if she's out there, you know, and somebody sees her, call the police right away. Definitely just keep sharing her picture, her photo, the videos, everything. That's one way of helping.
Shirt around,
yeah, the shirt.
The family with you know, the cost of these searches. I mean, this stuff's not cheap. They have flyers. They've got a lot of stuff that they're purchasing to post up. I mean, nothing is being given to the family. They're having to do everything.
Yes. Yeah. And Cecilia and her family have done such a great job at just putting these events together on their own, you know, having big, small flyers, every size flyer possible. Some are laminated, so if they get wet, you know, they don't get messed up. Splitting teams into just to go around all of Orange County and put up her picture everywhere. They've done a great job at that.
Yeah, these are them. They're nice laminated. You know, flyers. They really are working very, very hard. So,
hey,
out there.
Yes, Cecilia, one quick question. Have you considered maybe getting some local politicians on board, or have you reached out to any politicians to try to get help from local officials, you know, elected officials?
I actually know a politician. She's very, very close to me. And I've spoken to her about it. And you know, the thing is that, you know, this is these people's jobs, and it's like they don't want to cross one thing with the other, you know, even though they feel for me, they're close to me. You know what I'm saying? And I have to respect that, you know, even though that person has love for me, I have love for them. But like, you know, that's where the line ends, unfortunately, you know, because it's then it ends up political, and it's not a political. It's crazy because like you try to be like, you think of all these ideas like, oh, we have a light, and then it's like, no, it's really nothing. And then it's like, oh, we have a deal, like we have something, and then it's nothing. It's exhausting, but that's why we need to make noise. Like I said in that video, I'm not being nice anymore. There's nothing fun about this, you know, and I need something. You know, I need a detail. I need an idea. Like, the cops need to do something, you know, because we are not detectives.
It's not your job. I mean, you're
job.
taking it on because it's your family member, and you're feeling left behind by law enforcement, it's got to be a horrible position that you guys are all in dealing with, and nobody gives you a guidebook on how to deal with this.
And Karribean Kool-Aid knows firsthand. She's seen me firsthand do like crazy stuff just to figure stuff out. Like, you know.
Well, that's what it takes. That's what it takes when it comes down to something like this. You gotta have, you gotta have the guts to be able to do things that you normally wouldn't do. And especially for your family member. There's a lot of things that I would do in a heartbeat for my family member if they went missing. So yeah, I mean, that's what it takes.
Okay.
Hey, Cecilia, can I ask, like, when you wake up in the morning, like, is there like thing, like, do you instantly go on the internet to see if you find anything new, or look at your phone, anticipating phone calls? Like what is your routine since this happened? Has it been?
So right now, to be honest, I've been working really closely with a medium, actually, that has found a lot of details, and I have a lot of the things that she said made sense to me. So I kind of have a lead, but it's like, I'm at the spiritual moment right now, because I need to like find something. Even if like she has a vision and I go there and I find something, like I'm down for it, because at this point, like, there's really nothing else I can do besides reach out any type of different avenue. And a lot of the things that she said made sense. I mean, this lady's never been in the area. I know the area very, very well. I grew up in that area. So a lot of the things that she said made sense to me. So I've been really working really closely with her, and just kind of going off of that, to be honest, until something comes up, I'd rather speak to a medium and she tell me something and I go investigate. Even if I don't find anything, at least I'm doing something. And that's all that matters to me.
Well, we appreciate all your work. We're sorry, for everything that your family has gone through. And, again, we support you. We support your family. Just let us know what we can do. We'll be there to help you. And we are going to be there. If anybody's in the area of Orange County or Osceola County or anywhere in the state of Florida and you want to come over and help support this family, please do so. We're starting the Karribean at 9:30 at 2500 South Sonoran Boulevard in Orlando. I will be posting the flyer in the community tab as soon as we're done here this evening. Any final words, Karribean?
Well, for me, it's just, thank you for having us on and continuing to cover the case. Olivia, you've done a great job with videos. Jonathan, you've been out there searching, so thank you. And Cecilia, I will see you Thursday. And
I want to thank all of you guys as well. You guys have all been a great help.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. And we just got to keep praying and hoping for the best. And, just Paola will be found. She will. It'll happen.
No, it's going to it's going to happen. I believe it. And yes. I believe, and every week I feel like I'm getting closer into finding something.
So Jonathan, any final words?
No, just I'm praying for all of you, everyone, all the searchers, your whole family, everyone that's, stepping up and trying to find answers here. It's your loved ones, and you definitely deserve answers. Definitely deserve answers.
Yeah, same thing. Just for everyone watching this, spread the word, like make videos or post about it on Facebook.
Share
the videos too. I mean,
and anyone can feel free to message me if they have ideas. I saw someone saying about talking with a Millet case. The family do searches every week. I mean, any of those ideas. I know that we're in a chat, but you can feel free to message me. I'm very open. My inbox is open.
Yeah. And if you don't know her address, just send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, and I will make sure that they get it. They get the emails or any information, any suggestions on help. I'm happy to do. Now, Cecilia, again, thank you for coming on. Is there anything that you would like to tell the audience? Any final words?
I want to say thank you for the people that are watching. I want to say thank you for the people that have been commenting in all the lives that we've done, and all the people that did go to searches. I know that sometimes I talk like out of emotion, you know, like, but it's not that I don't appreciate. It's that I'm just completely frustrated with the entire situation of, you know, this week it's going to be 8 months and I have not found absolutely nothing. So I have become frustrated, but, you know, it doesn't make me bitter. I'm blessed with all the resources that have come our way. I'm blessed with, you know, you guys that have taken time out of your day, out of your time to, you know, sit there and talk about someone that you don't even know, you know. That just speaks volumes of who you guys are as individuals. And I appreciate that. I really do.
Well, we appreciate you, and we hope that the help is helpful. You know, it works, and we find something, just a scintilla of information.
Yeah, for sure. But thank
like
you guys.
somebody that was there that day, you know, there gotta be people that were in that
Well,
park.
and it's crazy because even like on the Olivia live, remember we did that one time? We even messaged people from geotags. None of them have gone back to us.
None of them. We found
None of them.
7 people that were there that day in the park nearby.
Even in the camping areas that she was at, and none of them answered.
And nobody will respond.
It's insane. Like, do I have to find where these people live and just be like, hey?
The smallest piece of information.
We have to start when you're seeing these people, you know, handing the name over. We have the ability to try to at least attempt to locate some of these folks.
Yeah, it would be so great just knowing, you know, how many cars were in the parking lot would make a big difference. You know, just details like that would help so much.
Or not only that, but you know, it's I wish, you know, back in time that somebody could have checked the bathrooms, even in the waste baskets, you know, in the trash baskets.
Right.
Could have threw something away. DNA out there, you know, in these waste baskets, possibly, you know, some clue.
It's all gone.
You know, tomorrow is my birthday, and the only thing that I pray for and I wish for on my birthday is to find something. Something.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to see something, do something productive, do something that helps. You know, hopefully that'll, you know, Wednesday or Thursday at 9:30 a.m. it'll be a start for something.
Yes.
And I definitely, you know, today I kept seeing the number 697, and I actually Googled what that meant, and that it was my top wish that I've been praying lately for, like something's gonna happen, like, you know, and I'm just like, I'm manifesting every day, like, you know, something really happens, that, you know, whatever I'm feeling is really like going to come to me, you know, because we are tired.
Yeah, you got to keep the hope alive. That's for sure.
For sure. But I want to appreciate, I'm very appreciative of you guys, and I want to say thank you.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome.
You're welcome.
Pleasure. And we'll
stay
see
optimistic.
Yeah, stay optimistic, you know, stay determined, and you know, we'll just have to keep leaning on each other for hope.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Carribean Kool-Aid, Olivia, thank you all for being here, and again, for all your help that you guys have done, you know, for this beautiful family. This is what real activism coming together and helping these families is really all about. And you know, it was our pleasure, and still is. So
thank
God
you
bless
guys.
everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye. Have a good night.
All right, guys. So, we're going to pipe it down. That was it. I know we're going to have a lot of people on the replay crew on this particular video. I appreciate you guys being with me for most of the day. We started off this morning. We had a lunch live, and now we're having an evening live. But again, if you're in and around the area of Osceola County, Orange County, which is the Orlando area of the state of Florida, please come out and help us. This family really needs you. If you have the ability to come out and drive down a road with a few signs on your car, please come out, consider helping us. This family needs your help. They are getting no help from their county. They're getting no help from their law enforcement partners. They're getting no help. We need to help this family get more resources so they can find their loved one. So with that, guys, God bless each and every one of you. Have a wonderful evening, and don't forget to be fearless.
Bye, guys.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.